Hello students. Hello students. Today I am going to discuss the logic of our program which is RR scheduling, and this is our C program operating system part A. Operating system lab part A. If you see there are okay, let's start from the beginning. The first line is a comment line that I have added for you people to understand that we have assumed that all the processes arrived at time 0. Okay, so this makes our program or this makes our logic much more simpler. Then there is hash include statement. This hash include statement is used to include the header file stdio.h, which stands for standard input output, and the functions, the standard input output functions defined in this library are printf and scanf. Here you can see printf and scanf. Then the program execution starts from the main function. The return type of our main function is int. So it simply means that main is going to return some integer value. This is the beginning of our main function. And if you see, the first three statements are the variable declaration statements. In the first line, we are declaring 1, 2, 3, 4. We are declaring the four variables of type integer: n, I, time and tq. Time is initialized to the value 0. In the second statement, we are defining the arrays of type integer: bt for the burst time, rt for remaining time, wt for waiting time and tat for turnaround time. Now why this remaining time? Because this is RR scheduling. So in RR scheduling, there we are going to have the time quantum. So for example, suppose a particular process has the burst time as 5 millisecond, and if the time quantum given is 2 milliseconds, then after 2 millisecond that process will be sent out of the CPU, and in that case we have to calculate the remaining time. So out of 5, 2 units got executed. So how much time still it needs to completely get executed? 3 milliseconds. So this 3 is nothing but we are going to store it into our array called as RT, remaining time. So for each and every process, until the process is completely executed, the processes are going to have the remaining times, and these remaining times of each and every process will be stored into our array remaining time or RT. Then there is one array which is going to calculate the waiting time of each and every process, and an array TAT which is going to store the turnaround time of each and every process. Next, there is a printf statement. So printf statement will display this message on the screen. What is the message? The message is enter number of processes. And then user is going to read this message, and user is going to give the input, or user is going to enter the number of processes. So to accept the input from the user, there is a scanf function or scanf statement, and whatever user enters, that number will be stored into the variable n. So let's assume that user enters the number 3. So this 3 will be stored into the variable n, and since n is of type integer, we use the format specifier %d. This ampersand denotes the address of n in RAM. Next, again there is a printf statement which is going to print this message on the screen, which says enter burst time for each process. So it will print that message, and because there is \n, this \n stands for a new line. So after printing the message, cursor is going to come down to the new line or to the next line. Now after that, what is there in our program? There is a for loop. If you see, there is a for loop, and this for loop will be executed n number of times, 0 to n minus 1. So let's take the variable I. For the first time, the value of I is 0. So it checks the condition, is I less than n, is 0 less than 3? Yes, condition is true. So the control comes to the body of the loop, and in our body of the loop there is this printf statement. So if I write the output here, this is our output. It will print P, because here this is P, so it prints P here. And then there is %d. So this %d will be replaced with the variable What is the variable? Variable is I, but I plus 1 means whatever is the value of I, 1 is added to it. So 0. What is the value of I? 0. 0 plus 1 is 1. So this printf will display P1. After that, there is a scanf statement. Scanf means accept the input from the user. So the cursor is waiting here. Since there is no backslash n in our printf statement, the cursor waits on the same line, and now the program is waiting for the user to enter the burst time of this process. So let's suppose user enters 5 as the burst time for process P1. So this 5 will be stored into an array called as BT. But which position of BT? BT of 0. Now since burst time, this BT array is also an integer array, we use the format specifier %d at address BT of I. So if I draw the array BT, since I know there are 3 processes, so I can just show 3 subscripts for my BT. This is subscript 0, 1 and 2. So user has entered 5 and this is our array BT. So where this 5 will be stored? The 5 will be stored at subscript 0. So BT of 0, it is going to store the value 5. Okay, after that it comes down. Here is this our remaining time array. Now for the first time, still the process has not got a chance to get inside the CPU. That means whatever is the burst time of the process, that itself is the remaining time. So let me draw this array RT here. So this is our array RT. And since the number of processes are 3, we are going to have only 3 subscripts, 1 and 2. Now this statement RT of I is equal to BT of I, what it will do? What is there in BT of I? BT of 0 is 5. The same value is copied into RT of 0. I is 0. So for both BT of RT of I is equal to BT of I is nothing but RT of 0 is equal to BT of 0. So we just copied that 5 into our RT array. Control goes back to the for loop and the control comes to I plus plus. The value of I is incremented by 1. So it becomes 1, 0 plus 1. Then it checks the condition. Is 1 less than 3? Yes. Once again we enter the body of the loop and it prints P, and I plus 1 is 1 plus 1 is 2. So it prints P2 and the program is waiting for the user to enter the burst time of the second process. Suppose user enters the burst time as 1. So 1 is stored at subscript 1 of BT, and then in this line, and the control comes to this line. So this 1 will be copied to RT of 1. Okay. Next, again the control goes back to the for loop. I plus plus. I takes the value 2. Is 2 less than 3? Yes. Once again, the control comes to the body of the loop. Printf statement prints P3 and program is waiting for the user to enter the burst time. Suppose user enters the burst time as 7. So 7 will be stored at the subscript 2 of BT. So BT of 2 is 7. The same thing is copied here. So here it is 7. From here the control goes back to the beginning of the for loop and I plus plus. I takes the value 3. It checks the condition. Is 3 less than 3? No. Condition is false. So the control comes to the print statement. It comes out of the for loop. Okay. So control comes to this printf statement, enter time quantum, that will be displayed for the user, and user has to enter the time quantum. Suppose user enters the time quantum as 2. So where are we storing this time quantum? We are storing this time quantum into the variable called as TQ. What is the name of the variable? TQ. TQ stands for time quantum. So just remember n is 3, time quantum is 2, and these are our arrays BT 517, RT 517. In my next video, I will explain you this do while loop. Thank you.